Hello, my name is Jason Coates. I teach at Virginia Commonwealth University, and this is a video for my visual poetry class. I'm going to be using Stevie Smith's poem, The Heavenly City, as an example about how to talk about poetry as a genre.
Genre itself can be sort of a tricky concept. The word comes from the French genre, where it also is a synonym for gender. And if you think about the different major genres of plays, novels, or narratives, and poetry as being something like the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and I guess funguses, I don't know. Hopefully, it will also serve to show that there are different subdivisions that you could make. Cats are different than dogs. And then, even if you just take dogs, there's going to be multiple breeds, all of which are the same animal, but which look very, very different. And then, for example, here is a picture of my dog Sybil, if who is cisgender. And if I hadn't told you that her name was Sybil and that she was a she, then you might have had some difficulty sussing out whether or not she was female or a male. So the more dogs you look at, the easier it will be in order to find out these sorts of things. And the more quickly they will come to you. But that doesn't mean that if you've never looked at dogs before, that you can't also start analyzing them and doing it competently. So all of that said, here is Stevie Smith's The Heavenly City. I sigh for the heavenly country, where the heavenly people pass, and the sea is as quiet as a mirror of beautiful, beautiful glass. I walk in the heavenly field, with lilies and poppies bright. I am dressed in a heavenly coat of polished white. When I walk in the heavenly parkland land, my feet on the pasture are bare. Tall waves the grass, but no harmful creature is there. At night I fly over the housetops, and stand on the bright moony beams. Gold are all heaven's rivers, and silver her streams. Now, I don't have any wish to say that my reading of the poem is the only way to read it, or that it's even one of the better readings, but I do think that even just right off the bat, we can make some assessments of what this poem is doing. It's not taking the entire line, for example. There's lots and lots of white space around the text, and it does go from image to image, not all of which are conventional. I do want to point out right off the bat that except for that first stanza, the last line of all the other three is they're extremely clipped. So of polished white, creature is there, and silver her streams. Those are very brief, at least compared to the meter of the three lines before them. A beautiful, beautiful glass is the thing that's not like the others, and the thing that makes it go over length is the second beautiful, which is unnecessary. And I think that's there in order to also let us see how evacuated the word heavenly has become. If you just say heavenly over and over again, it's less of a descriptor for something that's, like paradise or an incredible experience, and more just something that you throw at nouns. It's an evacuated adjective. That the shape of the poem on the page is the thing that's directing you to that odd use of heavenly. Or at least to the fact that the poem might be trying to use the word heavenly in a way that you're not accustomed to. But it's also true that if you just wanted to track the images in order to see how closely your reading of this is aligning with one way of thinking about the imagery in it, then you could construct a collage like this. And at this point, I'll just reread the poem with the images thrown up there at the same time. So, okay, the heavenly city. I sigh for the heavenly country, where the heavenly people pass, and the sea is as quiet as a mirror of beautiful, beautiful glass. I walk in the heavenly field, with lilies and poppies bright. I am dressed in a heavenly coat of polished white. When I walk in the heavenly parkland, my feet on the pasture are bare. Tall waves the grass, but no harmful creature is there. At night I fly over the housetops, and stand on the bright moony beams. Gold are all heaven's rivers, and silver her streams. Now I've thrown in those three pictures of Jerusalem, which is what they are. Like the rainbow image at the end is Jerusalem. They all came from an image search where I just put in the heavenly city on Google, and that's what comes back. So there is a way in which this is, like not necessarily heaven, but some sort of Christian conception of what the future would look like after Revelation. which makes it fictional, if only because it hasn't happened yet. But there's also the flowers themselves, the lilies and poppies. That's a biblical reference, but it's also at the same time a hint that these are aesthetic objects, as is the poem, something to be looked at. Uh, and the reflection of the light off of the sea, as well as the reflection of the moonbeams, makes me think that this is also something where the heavenly city ought to be contemplated at least as something akin to the poem. So I think I'll stop there because I don't want to do too much, and I know that some of you are going to be writing blog posts on this. But this is not telling a story, and it's not really performing anything of note. It is, however, calling attention to itself, and so although there are narrative poems and there are dramatic poems, as well as many, many other different genres, I don't think that you find novels that are sort of inherently aware of themselves as words on a page. And the same thing is true of plays, which are, by and large performed, or you read them as if they were going to be performed. So in that sense, this is definitely a poem, and you didn't really need me to say that in order for that to be a satisfactory answer. And also, I hope that I've shown how playing around with some imagery is a good way of showing people how you're interpreting something right off the bat.